Hello, and welcome to Lumberjack Impact. I'm your host, Blake Neubauer, and Lumberjack Impact is a show where we highlight the amazing faculty here and explore all things that make SFA great. My guests today are both a part of the SFA Model European Union team. One of them serves as a faculty advisor and sponsor. The other is a student, a part of the team. In both 2022 and 2023, the team earned the Best Delegation honors, marking consecutive victories. This team is no stranger to success. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guests today, Dr. Stephen Galatas and Briley Smith. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. It means a lot. I know you guys are both very busy. Thank you so much for joining us today. So for those that aren't necessarily fully aware of what the Model EU is, how would y'all describe it?
Well, I thought it was a good time. It was very interactive. I met a lot of different people that I probably would never have interacted with or met had I not gone. And it really teaches you about teamwork and engagement. Like nothing could have gotten done at all if we didn't work together in the room.
So Model EU is really a competition. So a lot of people may be familiar with Model United Nations, where students come together and they simulate the United Nations. Well, in this case, we're simulating the European Union. And so there are 6 different legislative bodies in the European Union that we simulate. So every country is given by lottery a country assignment. This year we pulled by lottery Belgium. So our students will be Belgium, and then we will come together at the nation's largest Model European Union for college students at the University of Indiana, at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, where our students will pass legislation in each of their legislative bodies, but also, kind of compete for best delegation and for top honors in each room or each legislative body.
So you guys definitely know a lot about being the best delegation, as mentioned, 2022 and 2023. But what would you say for both of y'all? I know you're a student in it. What would you say the most challenging aspect is preparing yourself for the competition?
The most challenging aspect for me was just feeling prepared. We obviously had practice sessions and we wrote our own legislation and we worked together to get everything done, but I still didn't really feel prepared until I was there actually in the room and doing it. And then I realized that I actually was, and I just didn't, I guess just having the confidence until I got there. Like it didn't really settle in until I was there in the room actually participating in the simulation.
So how does participation in the Model EU help students develop real-world skills applicable to careers in government?
I think first and foremost, it is a negotiation game. And unlike, for example, maybe a simulation of the US Congress, the EU and one of the founding principles of the EU is working together and cooperatively. So it's a negotiation and bargaining situation, but one in which you are actually trying to pass legislation, one in which you're trying to balance national interests versus the interests of the whole EU. And so those are very valuable skills, on top of also public speaking, because you're having to make some of these speeches about legislation in your rooms. And, Briley is familiar with that. Part of it is also just kind of learning to see other perspectives. If we are Belgium this year, what is the perspective on Germany or Hungary or Italy or Malta, on this piece of legislation? So I think those are real world skills that we can use in any setting.
So talking about, I was not aware of, every single year you guys get a new country. What kind of research goes into that?
We have to do a lot of research on the country itself, like its political parties, who are the leaders of it, and what do they think, what issues are important to them, what issues are really important to the government, and then kind of consolidating those with issues that are important to the European Union as a whole. And then we kind of also have to keep in mind, not do so much research on, but keep in mind of other countries, especially countries that might oppose the positions of our countries and what they're going to think, and kind of try to anticipate what they're going to say and be prepared to come up with a resolution for that.
So how would you say that the competition has evolved over the years, particularly in response to major political events in Europe like Brexit?
We have been attending Midwest Model EU since 2015. and with the exception of, I think, 2020 because of COVID. And so one of the interesting things is how new events. So again, how did the EU respond to COVID? That was something that we had to address. A number of years ago, we were dealing with a significant immigration crisis. Now we're dealing with the Ukraine situation. And one of the topics will come up is the fundamental shift in U.S. foreign policy toward Europe and toward the situation in Ukraine. And so, the students are really spending a lot of time researching and understanding. And again, some of that's going to be specific to a particular legislative body. So there's the Environment Council, which handles environmental, economic and finance council. Briley last year was part of the European Parliament, which actually represents the people of the EU. And so in the European Parliament, you don't sit by country. They had to prepare. Last year, we were Italy, and they had to prepare from the perspective of a specific Italian political party. Briley, this year you are in the
Environment
Council.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's going to be, she's been researching environmental issues and Belgian perspectives on environment and climate change.
So, based on all of this, what lessons do you think the United States can learn from the European electoral systems?
Okay, you're going to defer to me.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one.
Right, okay. I think first and foremost, international cooperation and the value of international cooperation, the value of looking beyond your own borders to see that we do have common problems that can be addressed. And I think that's one of the things that our students get out of this experience is this ability to, just because you see someone else's perspective doesn't mean you agree to it, but it creates a place where we can come together and have that common ground. And I think the other thing for our students is it's confidence building, right? Because when we go to this, we're putting our students up against Indiana University, against Illinois, against Notre Dame, against North Carolina, against Iowa State. From Texas Women's comes. And so our students walk away with, hey, you know what? SFA students can hang with the best, and we can succeed and develop those skills, and we have the same skills coming out of this institution that you do at a place like that. And again, focusing again on those ideas of commonality.
So, question for you, Briley: how would you say competing in this competition and the negotiation aspect, like you said, and really doing all the research as these European unions all work with each other, how would you say that's changed the way that you think about how the whole world as a collective kind of goes about that negotiation process?
Well, it's made me think a lot more about the importance of cooperation and collaboration, especially when we look at what we have going on in our country. It doesn't feel like a whole lot of cooperation going on. It just feels more like two sides like yelling at each other. But through like Model EU, we really do work to try to address any issues that another country may have. So if Belgium feels a certain way on an issue and Germany feels the other way, instead of just fighting about it, they work together to come up with a compromise. It's really all about compromise. And sometimes you have to give a little, and sometimes another country has to give a little, but ultimately it's about working together for what's better for the EU as a whole.
So, as we mentioned so many times, a lot of success. You yourself, Briley, placed third last year in your category. Based off all this, tell me about, for both of y'all, the most memorable or outstanding performances by the EU team and what strategies contributed to this success.
Definitely the chair of our room, Gavin Wilsey. He had chaired the previous year before, but I honestly think that he helped a lot in keeping everything running really smoothly in our room. And that helped me a lot with my performance personally, especially I was like super nervous and I wasn't sure everything worked because it was my first time doing it. But the way he ran the room helped me have a lot more confidence and perform a lot better. And also him speaking on some of the legislations, it helped me be able to do it for myself as well, just seeing someone else do it first.
If I could add, Gavin is actually a member of the SFA team as well. So he placed second in 2022 and first last year in the European Parliament both years. For me, Blake, honestly, it was 2022 when they announced we were best delegation. And I never thought we would actually reach that point because it is just such an amazing experience. And there's so many good students from so many institutions. And it's not that our students aren't great, because we had been placing all along. We had placed third one year already, fourth place one year. We had been getting awards every time. But that was a very special moment because we swept also foreign ministry, the presidents and prime ministers, a body called the European Council, and we had swept justice and home affairs with first places there. And then to go back in 2023, and by the way, that year we did even better in terms of awards. And I think that was the year they said we had the largest gap between us and second place in the history of Model EU. So there is a plaque that every winning school gets to take home. And in 2022 and 2023, Stephen F. Austin State University is engraved on that. And so that's a legacy that years from now, regardless of whether we get best delegation or not, which, I've got high hopes for this year, and I've got a great team again this year, but it's really more about the experience, though, also of the students.
So much success that you guys have had. And for more information on the Model EU, where can the viewers go?
They can contact me, Dr. Steve Galatas, in the Department of Government. My office number is located on our department webpage. They can also contact me by my SFA email, and they can contact me by phone. So lots of ways to get in touch with me. And come explore this great opportunity for SFA students.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And thank you so much, as the viewers, for watching Lumberjack Impact. Stay tuned for more episodes in the future. And to find more content, go to youtube.com/JackTVSFA. For myself here at the desk, everyone in the studio, thank you so much again for tuning in. Have a great day, and thanks.
This program is brought to you by the Department of Media and Communication at Stephen F. Austin State University.